Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living right here in beautiful Fullerton, California. Thank you all for joining us this morning. My name is Tomoko Rosas and I'm a practitioner here at the center. Please join me in stating our purpose statement. We are a loving spiritual community, empowering all to live healthy and successful lives through practicing the principles of science of mind. Few announcements before we get started. Thank you all for joining us in celebrating Reverend Bill's birthday last Sunday. Yay. And big thank you, yay! Another year, yes. Big thank you to all who contributed to the potluck, and we do have some of the best cooks around here. Around town, yes. In the state, yeah, let's claim it, yeah. So the next item is our beloved Bill Ingalls. As you all know, he's made his transition, and his memorial service is this Saturday. That's coming up. That's the 16th, and it's going to be here at the center at 11 a.m. And if you can join us, please join us. And we have 2 guest speakers coming up for August. Next Sunday is Reverend Sunshine Day, and the following is Maggie Rintara, RScP, and they are wonderful speakers, and you'll really enjoy them. They have been here before. Our sizzling summer raffle is coming up soon, and we'll have the date, displays, and tickets available very, very soon. We have some new shipments of books at the bookstore at a special price until supplies last, so come check them out. Wednesday Spiritual Support Group is ongoing weekly at 1 p.m. and Unexpected Income Club is doing great, as you all can see, and it's inching up, and we are reaching that goal at the end of the year. So, all right, and I'm going to close it there, and I'll pass it on to Tommy.
Need to be still, let God love me. I need to be still, let God love me. When this old world starts to push and shove me, I need to be still and let God love me.
Please join me now in invoking that living Spirit God that animates us, that lives through us, and expresses as joy and peace all the good gifts of the Spirit. We're so grateful to be here together this morning, knowing that truth. So right now I express my gratitude for each and every person who has anything to do with this service, the food that is waiting for us afterwards, that beautiful meditation this morning, this gorgeous music that we listen to every Sunday, and the beautiful words that our minister, Reverend Dr. Bill Salisbury, has prepared for us, teaching us, helping us live in life fully. And so right now I say thank you, God, for the blessing of this day, and let these words go into the perfect action of law that governs everything. And so it is. So I got my reading today from a little booklet that I got from Unity. called The Spirit of Gratitude. The minister who wrote this is named Sandra Campbell, and she says, "What if you could be grateful for everything?" Well, our teaching says that we create our experiences by what we choose to think or feel or believe. This means that regardless of how good or bad things may seem, we have the power to choose our attitude. It's like turning the other cheek. We get a different perspective. She says, "When I was in elementary school, I looked forward to my copy of My Weekly Reader." Didn't light bulbs go off out there? It was an educational magazine for children that included games and puzzles and stories. One of my favorite stories was about a little old lady who had run out of food. The only thing she found in her kitchen was a tiny morsel of leftover cake. She set the table as if preparing for a feast, and then placed the little piece of cake on a plate in front of her. She then put on her bifocals and thanked God for the crumbs she was about to consume. The bifocals made that little sliver of cake look twice as big. When it was all gone, she felt satisfied. That little old lady in the story easily could have given in to feelings of despair. Instead, putting on her glasses, she magnified her good. She expressed gratitude for what was right in front of her, small though it was. At times, we may be so focused on what is lacking that we completely overlook the many good things in our own lives. We may not have the luxury to choose our circumstances, but we can always choose our attitude. When we are grateful for what we have, we find we have more to be grateful for. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude improves the immune system, creates feelings of connectedness, improves morale, contributes to a positive mental attitude, and improves sleep. The challenge is to put our own stories to the test to see how gratitude can change the narrative. Like the story of that little old lady and a tiny morsel of cake, you can change your point of view. Rewrite the story that runs in your mind. Is there something in your story for which you can be grateful? This may take practice, but as Maya Angelou said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude about it. What's your story? After all, gratitude is an attitude. Now join me in prayer. In great gratitude, I just say thank you, God, for this moment, for this beautiful congregation, for this beautiful center of spiritual living. We just know we're happy and contented and have a great attitude here. Thank you, God, and so it is.
You are the heart, you are the hand, you are the voice, spirit on earth, and blessing to the world. We are the hearts, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hand, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. And who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world.
That's Tommy Cosentino. Yeah, he is a blessing to the world. So, good morning. Great to be here. We're still, I mean, we just started this overarching theme of living in joy. We talked a little bit last week, you know, like living in joy means living in love sometimes. Living in happiness sometimes, living with gratitude every time, just like Sally was reading about, because with joy we are automatically going to have love and gratitude, and there might be other things coming and going and intermixed in there, but those things for sure are going to be there. And remember, it's not just a feeling, it's a choice we have. And I love that Maya Angelou quote about, if you can't deal with it, can't change it, change your perspective. That's dealing with it, isn't it? So, another thing that Maya Angelou said was, when you wish somebody joy and love and peace and prosperity, and all happy, good things, that's what we're here for. I mean, that's what we do, and that's what she did, and that's along the same lines as what she's talking. Yeah, I don't think I want this right now. So, joy, surprisingly or not, only comes in divine relationship. We're not going to have joy if we're out of touch with our oneness, with our presence in that divine consciousness and its presence within us. It just isn't going to happen. They go hand in hand, and that's why it goes hand in hand also with love and beauty, and finding beauty in something. And remember, can include happiness, but not necessarily. Joy is knowing that at the end of the day, regardless of everything else that's going on, we're going to be okay. If we never lose sight of that, we never lose our joy. We only lose it when we lose sight of the fact that we are one in this experience. So we're not just one in this experience, we are the experience. We are the life principle demonstrating, manifesting, doing, being right here on this plane. So the title of today's talk might be, I'll give you what I want. Okay, like I'm going to give you something and maybe you want to direct me, maybe coach me a little bit, maybe give me instruction, and I'm going to tell you, no, I'm going to give you what I want. Well, it might have been that. But that wasn't really the way I fashioned that to be. The title of the talk is, I'll give you what I want. Because if I'm giving you what I want, I'm getting it too. It's coming back to me. If I'm giving you what I want, I'm giving it to myself, and the universe is giving it to me also. I cannot possibly give you something that I'm not giving to myself, and that's why we say be very careful about your thoughts toward other people. We have to always be wishing for everybody in our thoughts to be having, getting, receiving, enjoying the same things that we want to. You know, this is nothing new, okay? And every religion that's ever been has had this as its basic tenet, as an axiom of every religion that's ever been in one shape or the other. Okay, if you're Hindu, you might call it karma. You know, what goes around comes around. Or it might just be the master teacher Jesus said what? As ye reap, so shall ye sow. So if we're reaping, if we're planting, or got it backwards, as you sow, so shall we reap. If we're planting, if we're sowing seeds of joy and beauty and joy and happiness, that's what we're going to get back. It's like a boomerang, right? It's just whatever we wish for somebody to sow. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Bill, of course. I wish all those good things for you, and for my mother, for my brother, for my sister, for my son, for my father, for my cousin, for everybody in my family, and my BFF, and of course the lady next door, and all those in the bridge circle, and okay, and I get it, that's great, because that's a really good place to start. I got, well, some news. It's not just to include those folks. It's like the old saying, it's easy to love somebody when they're doing what you want them to do. We have to learn to extend those same feelings, those same thoughts, those same wishes for other people to have what we wish for ourselves, even if they don't think exactly like us. And let's just fast forward all the way to that person you just really don't like. The noisy neighbor, the nosy neighbor, or if that doesn't do it for you, how about that? How about that person whose politics are completely diametrically opposed to your own? I mean, remember back in the day, there's the story, well, I'm not even going to go into that, but I don't want to do any more parables right now. Well, I will. The guy laying in the heap at the side of the road, and everybody passed him by, but along came what we know, and we use it as a bumper sticker, the good Samaritan. Samaritans were like lepers later became to be. They were the worst species in the world. Talk about your worst political enemy. And yet, the whole parable that Jesus talked about and put out there was the way that we have to be accepting of help from that person and be willing to help them in return. So, those people who don't think like we do and want to just destroy the world, guess what? There's a possibility we're maybe, well, exaggerating the thing in our own mind just a little bit because we think so much about something, and when we do that, we lose sight of the fact that we have to wish for them the same thing that we're going to get. I have a quote, C.S. Lewis. Remember C.S. Lewis, Chronicles of Narnia and other things, and you know, he was a Christian apologist also, which we're not going to get into, but he was. But he says, joy bursts in our lives when we go about doing the good at hand and not trying to manipulate things and times to achieve joy. And that goes right along with the reading we had this morning also, right? We have to accept what is, rather than wishing for what isn't, because wishing for what isn't is never going to bring us joy. It's not even going to bring us happiness, the precursor sometimes to joy. It's not going to bring us anything except that feeling of lack. I'm wishing for it. Why? Because I feel I don't have it. If I feel I don't have it, I'm going to wish for it. If I know it's already mine, if I'm secure in my own spirituality, if I know that this universe conspires for my good, and again, at the end of the day, everything is going to turn out well for me because I am that child of God that we talk about all the time, joy is never far away in any circumstance. And when we're thinking about somebody, wishing this, that, or the other thing for them, don't we call that an intention? We have an intention that this person should have happiness, that this person should have health, this person should have all those things that we want for ourselves. It's an intention. The thing is, when we put our intention about something, we know that that spiritual law does what? It takes that intention, and that's why we say it's like a boomerang. That's why we say goes around, comes around. That's why we say reap what you sow. Because when we're putting it out there, we're putting it out there in an intention, and that impersonal spiritual law, a spiritual law that only says yes, that only creates in the form that we give it to create, is going to create it. So if we're wishing something not that great, we're not in the spirit. Remember, that spiritual law is impersonal, but still the law of consciousness is for good. It's like, we don't want any of that there black magic, do we? You know, I think later on you can chat with Tomoko about this if you wish, but I think that in Reiki, the Reiki teaching, it tells you not ever to impose your will upon somebody else. We don't impose will. We send out an intention for good, and that's what makes the world go round spiritually for us. Florence Scovel Shinn, we use her all the time. Now this book is the whole thing, you know, the whole thing that she does, the complete works. But I'm taking from that part, the game of life and how to play it. Because if we're going to play the game, we should know the rules. If we're going to know the rules, we need the basics first, right? We can't get to third if we don't know how to get to first. And I'm reading this the way she printed it, so bear with. Man receives only that which he gives. Well, why don't we just say, we receive only that which we give. The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man, people's thoughts, deeds, and words return to them sooner or later with astonishing accuracy. This is the law of karma, which is Sanskrit for come back. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Is there an echo in here? Sounds so familiar to me. Okay, but I'm going to give you what I want. Do I want unhappiness? Do I want insecurity? Do I want fear and ignorance? Do I want to live in the dark ages? Do I want to live in fear of everything on my life? Do I want to be afraid to go out the door in the morning? Do I want to be afraid to wake up and open my eyes and get out of bed? No, I don't. What I want to do is I want to jump into life and say, hello, here I am. Let's do this thing. That's what I want for you. There's nobody who wants negativity. There's nobody who wants things to not go right for them. And as long as we're all giving out what we want to everybody else, the odds of it coming back around are so much bigger. Remember, incalculable odds, scary certainty. She also says the more people know, the more they are responsible for. See, here's the thing. We know this now, which makes us responsible for this now. We can't pretend. We can't be the ostrich, okay? We can't say, oh, well, I didn't realize. No, because now that we know it, we know how this spiritual law works, and we know that we are part of it and that we can guide and direct it. We don't have those excuses anymore. We're responsible for them. And a person with a knowledge of spiritual law, which they do not practice, suffers greatly in consequence. Okay? So, the fear of the Lord, and what she says is, every time we read something that says Lord, we need to replace that word Lord with the word law. Okay? And really think about that. That makes a lot of sense to me, because I'm not the oh, I love the old guy up in the sky thing. But I can live with law. I'm a law and order kind of guy. I can live with law. I can live knowing that as long as I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, the results coming to me are going to be exactly what I want. I don't have to be unsure about them. I don't have to be insecure in them. Am I going to suffer through some other things along the way? Of course I am. It's the world. But my joy is not going to suffer for it. The fear of the law, spiritual law, is the beginning of wisdom. Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the law. We have so long misinterpreted that. Okay, there's not a guy up there that's going to punish us if we do something wrong. But a law is a law is a law. If we don't use the law of electricity correctly, we're going to get electrocuted. We're going to get fried. We're going to end up not so great for this. If we don't use the law of gravity correctly, things are going to happen to us. We're going to fall. We're going to tumble. We're going to crash and burn. If we don't use the spiritual law correctly, good things might come to us. Let's face it, they might come to us. What do they say? Even a blind squirrel gets an acorn once in a while. But it's not likely and it's not planned, yet we can plan for the good to come to us by simply directing that awesome power. Here's an infinite, eternal power that is life-giving, that creates and sustains life, and that's all it does. Its only job is to create life. And of course, when you're creating life, you're doing it in a loving fashion, so that's where we come into Science of Mind, where we recognize the love and the law. But the fact is, the law is what it is. And if we're working within it, if we're directing it for good, for us and for who else? I'm going to give you what I want. Then we're all going to end up with what we want. The good stuff, no doubt. I don't want to read anymore. I think I just kind of summarized what I wanted to get out of this book. In Science of Mind, we have what we call a Science of Mind treatment, right? The affirmative prayer. We unify with that consciousness that directs and creates everything. Okay, first we recognize it. We have to know it's there. Then we unite with it, and then we speak our word for it, and we say, gee, thank you, thank you, thank you. and we let it be, we just release it. And that's a very specific type of affirmative prayer. It's specific in that we speak to that spiritual law, describing exactly what it is that we would like to have. And we do it in those steps, and by and large, it's effective. It's only not effective if we, for some reason, think in the back of our mind somewhere that, well, that it isn't, that maybe there's some chance that this could go wrong. But all our other thoughts, it's true, we don't sit down and pray that so-and-so is going to have this, that, or the other bad thing happen to them because we don't like their politics or their religion or their method of living. But still, when we're thinking those things, we are putting that thought out there, and it's the thought, it's the intention that goes with that thought that creates that. So if we're looking at somebody, you ever have, come on, in the course of our lives, we meet people who instantly don't like us. I'm not saying that's everybody, because largely, especially in our circle, we meet people that love us to death right away. Yeah, everything about us. But come on, every once in a while you meet somebody who just, you know, doesn't like you. And I used to worry about that. I used to think, what's wrong with me? You know, what do I not have? Or what do I have too much of? Or what did I say? What did I do? What does he think I'm going to say or do? But the fact is, I finally realized that it might just be that I might remind somebody of their daughter's first boyfriend that they didn't like. Or I might remind them of somebody that ran into their car in a parking lot and drove away. I mean, I don't know. They don't need to know anything about me personally, because that's the human condition, right? Human nature. We don't need to know very much about each other to make a determination, to make a choice, to have an intentional thought about that person. Now, if that's never happened to you, if you've never harbored a thought of, well, not total ill will, but a thought of somewhere a little bit less than total love for somebody else that just met, then this isn't for you. Just pay no attention. But we have those thoughts. It's just the way we're hardwired. So we have to choose. We have to choose how we think about people and what we're going to say and do in their care, if you will. And really, what we have to say is, in our own minds, okay, I just met so-and-so, or I just heard about so-and-so, and, you know, I don't know you. Or if we do know them already, still we're going to say the same thing. I want for you your highest and best good. I want the highest and best there is for you. Because as long as I'm wanting that for somebody else, I'm wanting it for me too. I'm filling that, it's not a void, I'm filling that subjectivity, I'm filling that field of potentiality, that field of possibility, I'm filling it with my thought of good towards somebody else, which means it's coming back toward me also. So, and when we do that, think of the things, think of the God qualities that are entering in here, and we're not even thinking about them at the time. But we're speaking, we're thinking, we're acting, we're consciously dealing with things like gratitude, empathy, joy, and beauty, and happiness. automatically built in, well, I want the highest and best good for somebody else. Compassion, forgiveness. Okay? Come on. Forgive me if I do something or say something that's not exactly what you thought I should do or say. If you do that for me, I'll do that for you. All right. Deepak Chopra, we all know him, right? Yeah, he's a little bit intellectual sometimes, and a little bit, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to use the word stuffy, but maybe somebody else does. But still very well grounded in our spirituality, in this new thing. But one of his books is this. It's The Way of the Wizard, 20 Spiritual Lessons for Creating the Life You Want. And this whole book has all of the God qualities included, and it's written in the form of, guess who? Merlin the magician, and he's speaking with Arthur, young Arthur to be true. But I love this part where he tells young Arthur, when Arthur's still trying to find his way. And before I even get into that, you know, that's where we got Camelot from. We got Camelot because Merlin told Arthur, you're going to go to this place, you're going to build this whole world, you're going to make this marvelous thing go on here, and you're going to call it Camelot. He says, well, why don't I just call it whatever it was? Because there's too much connotation with the words that we already know. You know, our language carries too much baggage with it. We use a word, and we're not just invoking that word, we're in somebody's mind, we're drumming up all the things about it, good and bad, and indifferent. So you just invent a new name for a new place, and we'll start it out saying this is perfection, this is heaven. Geez, how do they get off on that? Anyway, Merlin says to young Arthur, I wish I could sweep out your brain. Merlin once grumbled when Arthur was acting in a particularly muddled way. Your thinking should be a clear flow. Instead, it's a war. Holy cow! I've had that happen. Well, why can't you sweep out my brain? Arthur asked innocently. Because everyone and everything inside it is you. Merlin sighed. You have turned into all those old repetitive conflicts, and they will not disappear until you change. A la Maya Angelou. Okay? You need to change your perspective. And every speaker, you know, who's fills up large banquet rooms and talks to us about all the good that's inside, how to achieve it, and blah, blah, blah. And don't they all tell us the same thing? And the phrase they use is that internal, and I'm going to date myself here, but the tape, right? Today they probably say the live stream. But that old tape that keeps playing and replaying and replaying in our minds. And remember, 90% of what we think today is exactly what we thought yesterday. I'm surprised we have to think it. We already know it's been going on for so many days. And he says, to see yourself truly, you need to see yourself as having these three aspects. Sender, receiver, and medium. Of course, we could have said the observer, the observed, and the act of observing. You know what I'm saying? We're all of the things. Everything that we're thinking about that's going on in there. The wish, the wisher, the granter of wishes, or you can call it whatever you want. This threefold state is known as unity. So sending an intention into the field and getting a response back isn't something you have to work to achieve. Ooh, wait a minute. I don't have to intentionally be doing that. I can intentionally do it because with my intention goes so much more energy and it comes back so much quicker, so much fuller. But it's coming back anyway, whether I work at that end of it or not, because that's not my job. Just like it's not the job of that impersonal law to determine if I'm asking for the right thing. Gee, Bill, are you sure you want unhappiness for that person because he doesn't vote the same way you do? No, it just says, oh, you don't like that? Oh, good. Bad news, though, is these thoughts are coming back to you because you're the one sending them out. You're the one having them. You're the one giving them attention. You're the one building the energy around them. Guess who's going to get it back? The problem is that we all overlook results that are too subtle, that don't immediately fit our goals. We live in this world of should have and would have and could have. Remember that? But when we ask for something and we ask by way of thinking about it, when we do that, we get answered. Remember that, the phrase, we should just throw out of the lexicon, unanswered prayers. Sorry, Garth Brooks. Just throw that out of the lexicon. There's no such thing as unanswered prayers. Unanswered may be the way we expected them to be answered or would prefer that they be answered, but they're always answered. And we know this. What's a prayer? We are praying without ceasing. We are praying all the time. Every thought is a prayer. You know, so if you're of a mind to think that, well, no, when I pray, I clear my mind, Bill, and I think only good thoughts, and I think about God and love and joy and peace and beauty. Well, yeah, of course we do. But on the other hand, when I'm walking along the beach barefoot, and I stub my toe on that rock that's mostly submerged under the sand, those thoughts I have right then, those are prayers too. So that's why people look at me funny sometimes, you know, like if I'm trying to hang a picture, you know, I miss the nail and hit my thumb and I say, ow, thank you. Because we have to understand it's a choice. And we have to get in that habit of doing that. We have to choose good every time. We have to choose the positive. I have one more thing. This is something called the raindrop theory. I wrote this down. Small moments shape everything. A single word, and remember, a single thought. A kind gesture, a quiet decision, they may seem insignificant, but over time, they carve out entire life paths. So maybe we want to say something like, okay, I hear you. I mean, I know, but just this one tiny little thought about that person I don't really like. Doesn't work like that. Can we let one tiny little thought out? We don't let it in, we let it out. And the next thing you know, we're doing another one, and then we're doing another one, and then we're doing another, and then pretty soon we're in the habit of doing them without even thinking of it, because that's what a habit is. We can be in the habit of choosing joy. We can be in the habit of choosing, wishing for everybody just what I want. Because what I want for me is probably pretty good. So why wouldn't I want that for everybody? Remember that whatever I want for somebody else, that impersonal law doesn't necessarily know I want it for somebody else. It just hears joy, hope, beauty, or the opposites. We don't want that to happen, right? So let's just know this together. Let's just know that within the confines of my cluttered mind can be items that are positive, life-affirming, opening awareness, conscious awareness of the good that is available, or they can be other things. I get to choose. And sure, do some thoughts come fleeting across? Of course they do. At which time we choose to want the good available by divine birthright to each of us. We choose to want that to be pronounced. We choose to want that to be obvious, that to be ever present, that to be what fills our world. And when we choose that, when we have those thoughts about that, when we wish that for others as well as for ourselves, we are in fact wishing it for ourselves at the same time. And knowing that everything we put our intention behind, give energy to, and put that into that spiritual law. Remember, the spiritual law knows only to say yes. The only answer it has, yes. So if we're going to demand something from that law, let's demand the good. Let's demand the positive. Let's demand the love and the joy and the beauty, and especially the joy. Because when we have the joy, we have that security of knowing that at bottom, we're okay. And always will be, because we are some part of that divine consciousness. We are here displaying that divinity, displaying that life principle right here on this planet. And for that, I'm extremely grateful. And I just let this word go, knowing it is so, knowing that I know it is so. And so it is. And as the ushers come forward, let me just take a second to remember with you that all of our good comes from that one source, God. And for this we are so grateful. Thank you for your continued support, without which we wouldn't be a viable entity. And for those supporting from a distance, thank you also. Let's just know that we accept and bless these gifts and the givers, knowing that all of this is given from the central core of who we are, which is God made manifest on this planet. We send them forth to do their good work in the world with no strings and no conditions, and so it is.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. Always had somebody finding why. Said joy to the world. All the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. If I were the king of the world, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cards and the bars and the war and sing this song to you. I sing joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Sing it with me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world, joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
That's Tommy Cosentino bringing joy to the world. Especially joy to our part of the world. Let's just know something together here. Something fantabulous is happening to me right now.
Something fantabulous is happening to me right now.
Happening through me. It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called joy.
It's this thing called joy.
It's this thing called intention.
It's this thing called intention.
I wish the best for you.
I wish the best for you.
Thank you, God, in me.